Welcome to Triple F, bringing life to your faith, family, and finance.
Hello, and welcome to Triple F. We are excited for our Takeway Thursday. Here at Triple F, we provide you content and support you in growing in your faith and your family and your finances. So just practical ways. We by no means claim that we are experts. We just want to provide experts on this platform so that we can all grow and learn from them. And last week, man, we had a tremendous opportunity to hear from a gentleman who have been blessed to earn over 7 figures where he works, and then also taught others to do the same thing. And so we're going to break those things down today so that it can make sense, be able to chew on it. And if you want more information, definitely reach out so that we can get you more information. So with that being said, this show is brought to you by Legal Shield itself, where we provide affordable access for family and businesses to be able to have access to top-rated law firm all across the nation and into Canada without having to pay the high hourly rates. Also, we have the #1 service in covering and protecting people with identity theft, where we have been voted by Forbes magazine 2 years in a row as the #1 service out there protecting family and businesses with their identity and information. So let's jump into it. We're so excited. We got a power-packed PowerPoints and video to show you the takeaway from Mr. Mac. Man, it was the most powerful show we have had so far, not to knock on the other shows that we had prior. It was just the most interactive show we had, also most requested question show we've had. And that goes to show us that there is a huge need in our society, financial-wise, not only to make money, but educational wise. And, so let's jump into it and break this presentation from Kevin Mack himself from last week. Turn it over to you, Virgil, to play the video.
Because we're talking about the essence of what network marketing really is. It is designed for people who don't have time. And so over the last 2 decades, I've heard countless people say, man, everything sounds good. I would love to take advantage of it, but you know what? I just don't have time. Oh, I apologize. You're exactly who we're looking for.
Yes, time. And this is so huge, right? If you look at how we're taught educationally from a young age and how we're raised to make money, is to trade time for money. You give your time at your job, you work it for 8 hours, that particular job compensates you, right? So when we think of network marketing and what Mr. Mack and how he's built his wealth there, he said it's different. It's slivers of time that you can invest. It's not like you have to spend 8 hours building it, but it's 30 seconds here, a minute here, 5 minutes here, 30 minutes here can add up to equity for you long term, right? And so the industry of network marketing is to help people buy back their time by applying something in slivers of time. So watch this. When I worked as a school counselor, which was my first job, and I think my only job so far, is my schedule was set. my pay rate was set as a salary, right? And if I worked any extra time, I wasn't compensated for that. It was just voluntary, right? And so no matter what happens, my income was parallel for the next 5 years. Did you know that if I wanted to earn more, I would have to go to school to get a master's degree in order for me to be able to get a pay raise, right? Where most people, if they want to make more money, they would have to work harder, they would have to work overtime, they would have to pick up a second job or a part-time job, or they would have to find a side hustle to do, right? Watch this. Everything you already don't have time, but all of these things that traditionally that I just shared with you requires time, right? Watch this. Time is one commodity we can't get back. And I think people take time for granted, like tomorrow is guaranteed. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for anyone, right? What is guaranteed is time. It's going to evolve whether you and I get up tomorrow morning. Time is going to keep going. Watch this. There's a saying, you can print more money, right? But you can't buy back time. You can't print time. It just doesn't happen. How do you buy it back? By getting involved in something that you can create the finances in slivers of time where you buy back your time, where you can tell the 8 hour goodbye, right? And things of that nature. So hopefully that makes sense to you. And here's the beauty of what Mr. Max shared, is that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can keep your money at your job, right? He worked his job part-time, but he went and earned $80,000 his first year in doing it in slivers of time by building a business, a book of business that ended up paying him residually over time, right? So traditionally, most people work 40 years of their lives and then retire on 40% of income the company couldn't afford to pay them in the first place. Then after you retire, you only have about good 20 years to enjoy life and the fruit of your labor, right? One of the beauties of working in a network marketing company is that you get to buy back your time, not only in slivers, but faster, and you still can leverage your job, to build your business. And so if you want to chase the freedom that money can provide for you and your family, we believe with conviction, as Mr. Mack alluded to, that network marketing is the way to go, because you can do it in slivers of time versus a pocket of time that you have to set and dedicate towards that. So hopefully that makes sense to those of you. If not, go back and rewatch the show so that you can gain more information. But think about it, right? Like we're traditionally, we're only taught to trade time for money. You give me your time, I compensate. Your company compensate you for the time that you sow into them. With network marketing, you find a company and a product that you believe in that makes a difference in society, and you go out and share that with people, teach other people the system that they have, and we'll talk more about that later on. Then you can be well compensated beyond means, and that's what Mr. Mack has been able to do. Not only has he been able to do it for himself, but he's taught thousands of others to do the same thing as well. We can go to the next video. It's a legal shield opportunity. You know, I read a quote that somebody shared the other day. It's like, I think it was Mr. Humes or Mr. Edward. And they say, I'm not just about chasing money. I'm chasing the freedom that money can provide for me and my family. Yes, that's in the society, in the realm that we live in today. Uh, you know, a lot of us in this last 2 years of a pandemic, we witness our loved ones, friends, and family passing from COVID, right? Some passed for just natural causes, but some passed from COVID. And here's was the thing that hit me at the heart. Some of these folks were at a young age, like in their 30s and their 40s, haven't even retired yet from work. Some were elderly, right? I'm just using this as an example, but within that system, freedom is, you hardly ever see anyone have freedom. When people retire, I see elderly folks today, holding up signs in Walmart. I remember getting off the airport last week in California, and one of the sweetest soul was driving a bus, and she had to be like in her 70s, 71 or 70. And I felt so led to tip her because I knew she wasn't doing the business for money. She was doing the business to survive. I mean, she was working a job to survive. And so when she dropped me off in the Uber spot in LA, I was able to bless her with a tip, just simply because I was like, man, I thank God for the opportunity that Legal Shield has provided me and my family to be able to have the freedom to fly to a whole different state during the week and not have to ask or file permission from a boss, right? And so, it's not just the money that you earn in building the business, because people say, well, money is the root of all evil. Not really, not at all. So far from it, right? Look, put money in a good person's hand and he'll do great things with it. Put money in a bad person's hand, and I can guarantee you he will do bad things with it, right? Money is not the root of all evil. It's the love. When we start to worship money for what it can do, right? The rich don't work for money. This is from Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He says the rich don't work for money. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have the money working for them, right? Wow, that is so powerful. That's something we weren't taught. Now, we're not trying to argue with you like we know how to make money. No, this is just awareness. We understand that there's difference in systems, right? And system is spelled SYSTEM. Save yourself time, energy, and money, right? Could you imagine if you only been taught one way how to make a living, right? And then just imagine there's this whole different way on the other side that's better, faster, stronger, generational, right? Like, wouldn't you want to know, right? How can money work for you? Or how can you be a part of something systemically that will spit you a cash flow, whether you're working or not? Now, we're not saying that network marketing is not work. Look, we work. There's work required, right? But we work in slivers of time. And so Mr. Mack talked about, he took his work ethic that he applied for 8 hours to build someone else's dream. He just took that work ethic and brought it here and applied it on himself and his family. And that's how you can work to create the money, and then now put overalls on those money to work for you. We can go to the next video.
Well, let's talk about, right, just the myths, guys, right? We were told to go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, right? What happened to go to school, right, get good grades, and prepare and learn how to recognize an opportunity. Right? Because when we go and earn scholarships, it's entrepreneurs who are providing the scholarships so that eventually you can come and work for their company. Okay. I want you to think about it, right? Entrepreneurship. So there's education that I came across here on this journey, even concerning that. And it enabled me to navigate, right, my children in a different direction because of the education acquired here. Right? Typically, you leave school more than 6%, right? Never pick up another book. We have a book of the month program. One of the books, the Business School by Robert Kiyosaki, it says the number one reason to get involved with this industry, guys, it's for the education. How powerful is that? Listen, the education, just to be around this group. I've watched people increase their incomes on their jobs because of who they became here.
Come on.
Guys, this is a big deal, not a small deal, right? So
Wow. Yeah. The education piece is, it's wisdom, Since when I first got started in the industry, I've been 18 years. And so all I knew was traditionally how to make money. You went to school, I got a degree, and my first ever job was a school counselor, and it sounds good. It sounds valuable because I'm providing value for children. I love that. And don't get it twisted. I love making a difference in the community. What I didn't love is that I couldn't pay my bills at the end of the month, right? I made $22,000 a year, and that's not after tax. That's before tax. So you do the math. Living in Hawaii and being married, I was a newlywed at the time. It just wasn't working out, and that is a myth, right? Like, there's only certain people they get the good jobs, right? And if you don't have a skill set or have learned a skill set, you're forced to settle at some point for a job that you like. And so, the educational piece that Mr. Mack shared is so profound because not only that people get to learn how to be an entrepreneur, but you also learn about wealth building, right? And that's a huge, significant advantage that we get to be around people who have earned the money. They not only have earned it, but they have helped other people do the same thing. So education is priceless because it really determines how far you go in life. The right education, right? Because we know that there's a lot of people who today they teach business but never own the business. They teach it from a book, they teach it from theory, but never really own a business, right? But the beauty of network marketing is that you actually have a live person who have done it, like they've applied it. And here's the most amazing thing. They're willing to give it to you for free, to teach you to do the same thing. Because it's kind of like, it's reciprocity, right? It's like the only way it works to be a blessing for them is that you went out and changed your life. If you change your life, the person who taught you, is benefiting from that. A small slivers, but small slivers come from many people, adds up to be a huge chunk at the end if that's what education does. If if your mindset is just tunnel vision, right? You only know one way, but haven't opened your mind that there is greater capacity. There's a greater way of earning an incredible amount of finances out there. I mean, just have to ask yourself, would you want to know? Would you want to try? And things of that nature. That's the encouragement. And especially here, Mr. Mack touched upon that you're getting a mentor for free, educational for free. I mean, obviously there's investment. You got to buy the books and from Amazon or wherever bookstore you're purchasing the book from. But the return is priceless, just definitely priceless. The myth number 2 is that people believe in network marketing that there's only a few people that earns the top money, right? The top money. But that's a myth itself. Traditionally, there's only a few people at the top of the pyramid, right? At the top that earns the money, right? There's the CEO, the vice president, the vice president, and then on down to employees, right? So you do the math right there. The beauty of a network marketing company is that you can get started tomorrow and be able to earn more or greater or just the same as the person who's been invested 20 years, 10 years, 5 years with that particular company, because it's based on your effort and performance that you put in, right? So that's wanted to share about that. We can move to the next video.
Right, to sow into your family, which is everything. Okay, the time that it will give you to catch things that if you were working all the time, you can't, right, course correct your children fast enough. And so if you aren't there to course correct them fast enough, then they get so far down in the wrong direction that you can't course correct them fast enough.
That's so good.
Right? So one thing I know my wife was able to do, she was literally able to catch things as they were happening, right? Because I was able to retire my wife at age 30.
Who retires at the age of 30, right? I hope that you guys, if you're listening to this live or listening to replay, Sherry, let me know if we have any questions in the chat room. We can answer them as well, Virgil. But man, that's huge. And that's the beauty that network marketing brings is a lifestyle, right? And they say life is given, but style is how you choose to live life. And some people conform to, hey, working every day, that's fine, that's perfectly, it's not a knock, right? It's not a knock on people that's working. We all need to work, take care of our responsibility and our family. But know that we can work smarter, right? And harder on something that you can build. Do you know that there's a value that the rich and wealthy live by, right? I forgot the book that Mr. Mack had got me to read, and I believe it's the Millionaire Next Door. And so I read this book called The Millionaire Next Door, and I started to learn how the bottom 10% settle for certain things. And the book says that the top 10%, they believe they can have their cake and eat it at the same time, right? The middle hardworking people, they believe, which we call the middle class in America, they believe they're not deserving of the cake, so they only settle for a sliver, just a small sliver of the cake, right? Then the bottom 20% or 60%, they don't even focus on the cake. They know they're not deserving of the cake. So they go buy a donut, focus on the hole in the middle, and wonder for many years why they don't have anything, right? And this is why the educational piece that Mr. Mack was talking about earlier is so necessary to understand how money flows, how to be able to purchase things with other people's money, right? And legally, you don't have to take advantage of anyone. You can do this legally. You can also build your network marketing business on a part-time basis while you work your job to take care of your family and pay your bills. You can build a business on a part-time basis that will spit you a cash flow after 5 years, after 3 years of residual income. It's truly dynamic. I mean, you don't have to be allergic to that, right? But if you go get a second job, let's say you're working 2 jobs, you get a nice paycheck, but you have no time to care for your kids. If you hear Mr. Mack saying, I was able to retire my wife at the age of 30, and so brought her home to care for their kids 24 hours. Let me tell you what that looks like. You know, Mr. Mack's oldest daughter has graduated with, I believe, a master's degree. I want to say 2 master's degree. Already have 6 figures in her bank account, independent, right? Graduating from school. Most people graduate from school, they have student debt that they got to pay back. This young lady, based on information and understanding and a present mom and dad at home, she's able to graduate with master's degree and have 6 figures in her bank account that she created, not given to her by her parents, because of the way she understands wealth. There's a difference between wealth and money. Here, let me give you a gift real quick. The difference is money you can still count. Wealth no longer can count, right? Mr. Mack's son right now has over 3 to 4 investment properties before the age of 25, and is right now running a day trading company. I believe over $2 million in assets. It's crazy. I mean, helping people make their money work for them. But my point is that's what this network marketing business has done for the Mack family. It didn't just change their finances. It changed the way generationally how they look at money. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, it's truly dynamic. I encourage you, come back and listen to the show so that you can gain some insight from the wisdom of Kevin Mack. We can go to the next video, sir.
If you bring the same work ethic here, the good work ethic, the great work ethic that you loan to your employer, if you bring that work ethic here, loan it to yourself, to be quite honest, the great work ethic is actually worth millions. I'm not going to downplay it. So here's the other thing, right, concerning myths, is they believe that it's only a few who make the big money, right? Only a few who get paid. In corporate America, it's only a few who make 6 figures. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, listen to yourself. Yes, in every career, we said this is a career choice, and every career is going to only be a few who maximize their full potential. But someone made it seem like it's only a few in that space right? Who maximize their full potential, who really get paid. That's the world around.
Man, it's so powerful, guys. So powerful. Yeah, we touch on this. There's only a few people to make the big money. That's a total myth. Look, organizationally, it's crazy. There's over, like, I think 115 ring earners, right? The team has been paid over close to 500 million. The team. It's crazy. 500. The top guy on the team, he's made about 19, but the team, 19 million, close to 20, I believe. Yes. It's 20 or 24. I'm not quite sure. But the team has been paid close to 500 million. So you do the math, right? Yes, it's crazy. But that's the opportunity that we have here with Legal Shield, is that anyone or any network marketing company. We're not just endorsing Legal Shield, but it's sponsored by Legal Shield, so I guess I'm endorsing it. But any other there's great network marketing companies that's out there. Don't allow the few bad apples to give you a bad seed or a bad reputation about the industry. It's like anything else you do. There's going to be bad fruits, right? But there's been a great industry. It's actually created more millionaires than any other industry that's out there today. Like, seriously, more millionaires than any other industry that's out there today. So that's my encouragement, is find a company that has a great service that you can believe in, that you can go out and share with people. It'll change your life. It's literally transformed my life in a major way. So we can go to the last slide, sir.
Find a mentor, invest in a mentor. Opportunities such as network marketing, do you know what your investment is giving you? It's actually giving you mentors.
Mm.
So because of the investment that I made, I was able to learn and adopt the concept of total person achievement, becoming the total person, a person who elevates themselves in the wheel of life. The wheel of life is faith, family, finance, fitness, education, and social. It's 6 spokes in that wheel of life, guys. Right? 6 spokes in that wheel of life. So to elevate, right, and increase your financial portfolio in the 21st century, you find a mentor in that space of finance. See, each of the spokes, you find a mentor, and they will talk to you about the necessary disciplines and habits. I want you guys to do some research on the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm answering the question, guys, the cash flow quadrant, right? Because you should ultimately strive to get to the I quadrant.
All right, guys. Hey, we're coming here to the end, wrapping up here. But Mr. Max, I think it's so on point. Beside the money, beside the lifestyle, beside the growth that you will encounter individually, man, it's the gift of having mentorship is priceless, right? Let me give you an example of what a mentor does to you. Mentor is like imagine putting a jigsaw puzzle together without the finished picture, right? Yeah, you'll get to it, but it's gonna take forever, right? Because you don't have the end picture at hand. And so imagine building a business and you have someone who's already done it, who's willing to show you. And it's so funny because in my experience, I've never been in business before. This is actually my first rodeo, my first ever network marketing that I've ever joined. I didn't know the difference between network marketing and real business until I came here. Mr. Mac is his first company. The gentleman that introduced Mr. Mac, this is his first rodeo as well. And all of us, we've been blessed to earn over $200,000 from home, right? By learning new things from people that came before us, right? They were able to teach us for free. For free. There's other things we invested into to our growth and things of that nature, like going to certain events, seminars, and things of that. But man, the accessibility every Sunday we get on this call, which we call our Sunday Momentum call, and it's just so profound. Then we have a Monday live show. We got a huddle call. We have accountability. I mean, we have this call within the community to help us grow and keep our ears close to the people who are paving the way so that they can help us do the heavy lifting. Could you imagine having someone do the heavy lifting for you and you get to travel the path of least resistance? Guys, that's been for me. Like I'm someone that didn't understand business. I still don't understand business today in many degrees, but I do understand how the money flows through the E quadrant, the S quadrant, down to the B quadrant, to the I quadrant. Yes, you got to understand the quadrants, right? And it's just truly dynamic. What Mr. Mack talked about, the 6 wheel of opportunity. Are we operating from a place of purpose? Like, you got to ask yourself, are you really living the life that God desired for you to live, or are you settling for a life that somebody says you got to do, right? And that's not a question to be shame or feel guilt about. That's a real honest self-check. You got to look in the mirror and own it, right? Take personal responsibility for it, for your family, for your faith, for your finance, your health, which is fitness, right? And then educational and social. Are those 6 areas of the spokes being represented well in your household? That's something that we all have to take a look at, right? Because this is how the rich and wealthy operate at that level. You can go to the last slide, sir. So here, I would encourage you, right? Do some research on the 4 quadrants of income so that you can understand. If you see the E and the S, that's employee and self-employee. And about 90% of the people fall under the E quadrant because that's what systemically is taught in our nation. Go to school, get a good grades, and get a good job, right? Then you have the self-employee, which about 5 to 10% of our nation represent self-employees. This is our people. People believe that they own, that they're an employee of themselves, right? They own the business, but the business actually own them, right? So the mindset of a self-employee is that if it has to be done right, I got to do it my way, right? That's a mindset of a self-employee. The challenge is you make a lot of money, but you got no time freedom, because the moment you have to go on vacation, your business stops because you're the only one knows how to operate it, right? So you make a lot of good money, but no one's at home to raise your children, right? Or things of that nature. So never really have time freedom. The B is for big business. This allows you to operate from a system point of view. A system governs the big business. And so it allows you to save time, energy, and money, and then allows other people to operate and work with you in this big business arena that spits you a cash flow, whether you're working or not. And then you take your money from the big businesses and you want to put overalls on it on the I quadrant. The B and the I is where we want to be, right? On the right side of the cash flow versus the left side of the cash flow for quadrant. So we all desire to be in the I quadrant when now our money is working for us. Excuse me. Our money is working for us, right? Kind of the language is you want to put overalls on your money and make it go to work for you. Guys, that is a whole different feelings. And you can do that with many things, whether it's real estate, the stock market today is crazy, crazy good. And, they got all this cryptocurrency, things of that nature, right? And many other businesses that you can invest into as an investor and have an earning. So, do some research on that. We're excited for our next show. Last thing is to learn you pay yourself first, right? To pay yourself first. Yes. It's one of the most powerful things I've learned through my journey here of being an entrepreneur. And I've learned it from people who have done it and pass it down. Show me how to do it and be able to pay 10% to yourself first before you do anything else. And it's truly amazing how that separates you from everybody else. And so look into the power of paying yourself first. Guys, we are excited. Hopefully that you got some takeaway from this finances piece of our Triple F show, brought to you, sponsored by Legal Shield. We have one of Legal Shield top money earner here, Mr. Kevin Mack, and leader within the Legal Shield company, sharing some insight with you on the network marketing industry, right? So do your research. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our platform at DannyCouture.com. We also have our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Instagram, Triple F. Hit the subscribe button and we got a phenomenal show lined up for you about faith coming up with Pastor Scotty Kobayashi. That is coming up here next Thursday. So with that being said, take care. God bless. Apologize for going over time 12 minutes, but it was so much to unpack and we didn't want to miss anything. Thank you for your patience. And mostly, thank you for growing with us. Man, you guys are amazing. Continue to share. Please share the video with your friends, family, so that they can gain some insight as well. Just practical ways on how to increase your faith, your family intimacy, and then also your finances as well. Take care. God bless and aloha.